The Barry McNeil Show, that's me.
Hi, I'm Barry McNeil, and I'm here to teach you about the atmosphere. Hey, that rhymed. Yay. To help me teach you about the atmosphere, I have an atmospheric specialist, Kim Kimberly, here to help me teach you about that. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Barry. Great to be on the show.
So, what can you tell us about the atmosphere today?
Well, it's really big and it surrounds the whole Earth.
So, tell me, I've heard about this thing recently called, global warming. Could you explain why this is happening?
Well, it's happening because since the uprising of factories, we've been putting out a lot of carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas. It's supposed to keep our atmosphere warm. Unfortunately, we've been releasing so much into the atmosphere, too much actually, that it's beginning to get much hotter.
So, what is causing the carbon to have this effect?
Well, it's something called the greenhouse effect. It's part of the Earth's energy budget. The carbon is holding in the heat that's coming from the sun, and it's not being reflected like it should all the way.
So, could you take us through these layers again?
Well, there's 4 or 5 layers of the atmosphere. The main 4 layers are troposphere, stratosphere, next up is the mesosphere, and finally the thermosphere. There's a layer inside the thermosphere called the exosphere. It's one of the very outer limits.
And does density change at all?
Yes, of course. The higher you go up, the less density there is. If you go up high enough, you will die.
Good to know. So, what determines these layers?
Well, it's the heat. The heat alternates as you go up, and the heat decides where the layers cut off and change.
Okay. Well, let's explore these layers, shall we? Whoa! I'm Barry McNeil, and the sky's the limit on today's episode. I'm here in the troposphere, and I'm going to take a big breath of air. The troposphere is the home of a lot of the Earth's air. That was good stuff right there. So it's the air is mostly oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, and argon, along with other trace elements. And so where I'm also at is the home of all the weather, because as water vapor is condensated into clouds, it comes back down as precipitation. Obviously, the most common type of precipitation is rain. Stop it! Kim, get back! Get back! Get back! Ah! Moving on up to the stratosphere. We're in the stratosphere. Might want to grab a coat. Gale force winds, folks. So, what we got here is, because the troposphere interacts with the ground and gets heat from the ground, it slowly gets colder as we rise to the stratosphere. And as the stratosphere, as we reach the tropopause, which is the gap between them, the stratosphere starts to warm up a little bit because of the deadly radiation. We've got the ozone layer, which you might want to call the no-zone layer, because you can't go above it if you don't want to be burned by the rays. The mesosphere is even colder, and there's a few meteors that are burning up right here. We're finally into the last layer. We're in the thermosphere. Now it's actually really hot here because of all the UV rays, but that's not a problem as such. There's so little air particles here that it's almost space. What else is happening here? Well, there's a few lights coming around to have a Aurora Borealis party. So I brought a couple of shuttlecocks to play with. Do you want to have some fun after the show?
Yeah!
milky.
Need to learn about the atmosphere to understand what we have fear. Feel that.
Now time to grill you on the facts. Just kidding, I'm done with this.